Hey everybody, it's time for an upper body day, and we started off with a nice wide grip bench press. At the moment, 3 is about all I can get using this form, but I'm happy with that because this form uses the most chest. It's flat back, it's extremely wide grip. I'm almost to the J hooks, doing pauses on everything. So those third reps are pretty heavy. It feels like if I had to, I could squeeze out a fourth if I went 100% and were to grind it, but I don't think that's what I need to be doing. So because I ended up getting 8 and then 9 with 45s on the chins last time, with a 45, I went ahead and went up to 90. I'm like, let me just see how many reps I can do. And we got 3, so I'll live with that. Of course, I dropped down to 10 pounds and did 12 plus reps for the other sets. And that kind of puts me at my baseline of where I think I want to go. I know that the squatting, because I think I'm about to switch over to pause squatting, and I may do beltless pause squatting, so that's going to skew my numbers a little. But one of the goals I think I've set for me for kind of my old man strength goal is, can I get to 10 reps of 315 on a bench, right? Paused, raw, everything raw. Do 10 with 500 on the deadlift, which I could probably do that if I forced myself too fresh. I'd like to get to 10 with 90 pounds on a chin-up. And then squat, I'm not sure what I need to do, because I'm talking about doing deep pause squats. I mean, 405 or 10 would be phenomenal. So what I did after this, everything is pump work, and I've been assessing stuff. I've looked at my angles. My arms have actually gotten bigger. They're not perfect, and I need to keep working on them. My chins get a little squirrely sometimes. I'm trying to get my balance there. But I've realized as I continue to work on all the shoulder mobility stuff, so the pulling movements, the pullovers, other stuff, I've had to look at some stuff, and I've realized as I continue to get leaner, I really just need much bigger delts. Because at the end of the day, one of the things I've noticed, I've seen guys who have really aesthetic physiques who are lean over 200, whose arms don't really look bigger than mine in proportion, not significantly, but they have nice round cap delts. So the thing I've kind of realized, I should probably put more emphasis on my delts. And I think that's the way I need to go for a bit. So I ended up doing 6 sets for my delts today. So what we did on everything was pretty much 12 plus reps, unless I hit failure sooner than 12 on a last set. Went ahead and did 3 sets of everything again. I enjoyed that week of a little less volume. I realized I really like the heavy top sets. I like focusing on my big 4 lifts. And then everything else, I'm trying to just train really strict, maximize hypertrophy, try to do good ranges of motions, get everything into stretch positions, not cheat. And that's pretty much what I did here. So I ended up doing 13 reps at 225 pause bench, right? And yes, I'm aware my shoulders look, I'm kind of pulling a little catawampus there, and that's just what's kind of going on with my shoulders, and that's one of the things I've noticed. That's why I have to continue to work on that flexibility. A lot of stuff, it puts it into weird positions, and one of the things that I've noticed as I've regained the ability to do things like chin-ups and pull-ups, I've done all the pullovers, I've done those things, my range of motion is not identical on both sides. My right side's a little tighter. I noticed it wasn't getting under a squat bar. So sometimes those chins and stuff may look a little bit off. I'm trying to keep them even, but it does happen. And that's okay. We just focus on doing better, trying to do a little bit more flexibility and stretching for the shoulders still. But the main thing is I'm pain-free. So even if I never have perfect range of motion again, the fact that I have no shoulder pain, I have no inflammation, I have no pathologies happening, I'll take it. But I do want to work on that. So what I ended up doing with the chins there, I did like 12, and then I managed to squeeze out 13 on the second set. We did 13 on both sets of bench with 225. Those were pretty much limit sets. So for the extensions, when I realized, I'm like, wow, I feel pullovers amazingly well in my triceps. Why don't I focus on just getting the deeper stretch on these and keep working on that? And I'll stick with this weight for a bit. I would love to get to 135 on these. I feel like my triceps, I would probably have stronger triceps to bench 405 at that point. I'd love to be there. But I wanted to turn these into getting a little bit of a pullover effect so that we get some chest involvement and we continue to hammer that long head of the tricep. So I really need that to finish the triceps off. And so what I'm focusing on is getting the deepest stretch I possibly can, so treating it like a pullover. All right, so I'm then supersetting those with upright rows. I'm starting light on these and I'm trying to go really strict, trying to go super strict. And the reason is, again, a lot of people complain and they worry about impingements on the upright row. I've seen experts and physiologists who say you actually can't really get impingements on this doing a normal form. Others are like, oh, the main trick is to just not go crazy high, not to go crazy narrow. So I'm just taking a shoulder width stance. I'm trying to get the deepest range of motion possible at the bottom. It's using lightweight, controlling the weight, no cheating, and just bringing it up to a comfortable level. Because even then, impingement on any sort of overhead stuff only really happens when your elbows are going above your shoulder. So if you're coming up to just about the middle chest, like I'm doing, should be good. And we're still getting the burn because we're trying to get the side head. And I think people forget the higher you go on movements like that, it becomes more and more front delt. I'm already doing benching. I'm already getting front delt on 2 different exercises. I don't care. I'm just trying to get capped delts, okay? So I really want that side delt and the posterior delt to get the brunt of my exercises. And the front delt's going to get worked anyways on them. So I'm okay with that. That range of motion puts me through that whole position that works. And really, that actually is my full range of motion. It's not like I can really go higher anyways. But definitely getting the bottom of it. And so that's been the goal with it. And I got about 14 to 15 reps. So there's some surprise because I kind of want to cheat a little bit. I could do 135. But if I go super strict like this, super strict, and again, what have I been telling people? Tension is tension. Muscles don't care. And as far as the big movements go, I'm already doing heavy squats, bench, deadlift, and weighted chins. I don't need all this other stuff to be heavy. I just need to progressively overload over time. I need hard sets to get very close to failure or go to failure. Like right there, that was failure. Notice I tried to lift it one more time and I couldn't. So that is what I'm doing. It's absolutely what I'm doing. So we're trying to keep it all strict. On the last set of these extensions, I couldn't quite get to my 12, so I racked it at 10 and then rested a couple seconds and did 2 more. Mainly because I got 12 on the first 2 sets. They were hard. I didn't feel like I had 13 because of this stretch I'm doing at the bottom. Trying to stretch deeper. And I'm going to work on that because I feel like that will also improve my shoulder mobility. And, well, it's not mobility, it's flexibility. I think people have been using that term incorrectly. They're like, do mobility exercises. I'm like, my mobility is stupidly good. Look at my starting strength on all my lifts. That's what mobility means, right? It's flexibility I lack. I need to improve range of motion. And so I'm going to continue to work on that. But the thing I noticed, I did a little bit of stretching stuff for my shoulders last night, and it made them feel a little clicky today. And I think that was part of what I saw on the chin-ups. But I'm going to keep working with it, keep working with some things, try to improve that range of motion. But as far as all the lifts themselves go, everything's just going to be about doing strict full range of motion exercises, getting stretch positions at the bottom, getting into those lengthened positions, right? Controlling the weights. And again, for me, this actually, I can't really go higher than that. Notice I'm not using a very heavy weight. I'm hitting 14, 15 reps. But the main thing is making sure I'm getting that stretch at the bottom, bringing up through my range of motion, controlling it, and then trying to hit failure. So trying to hit failure on those sets. So all these sets are hard. So this volume is, I don't know. I guess it is 12 sets a week for triceps if I do this. 12 direct shoulder sets, and I don't even know how we would count then, all the benching and other stuff. All right, the curls, and same thing, drop the weight down. I couldn't quite get to my 12 reps again because I did these controlled. Trying to lock at the bottom, trying to bring the bar up to my face so that we get that shoulder flexion that we want, right? Because that's part of the function of the bicep. So trying to work the bicep through its full range of motion. and do it controlled. I'm controlling everything, even controlling the negatives. This weight was really hard, especially after doing chins, because I did the first set of weighted chins with 90 pounds. I'm 220 by the time I get to the thing in the morning, after I drink my water and all that stuff, by the time I'm in the gym. So I mean, I'm doing 310 pounds on those chins. So I decided to then superset these with laterals, and I took the same effect. I'm like, let me just take the tens and just control it. Nice controlled reps, and just see if we can just focus on the delts, take the delts to absolute fatigue. Again, took these sets pretty much to failure, and just did supersets with these on the curls. And that's how I get away with that. Normally I would be supersetting arms, but if I'm going to add all this shoulder stuff, I just superset it with my arms, right? So we do the bigger movement with the triceps, and I do the smaller movement, the isolation, with the curls. And it really doesn't add that much time to my workout. Because these last two movements are so light, I don't need big breaks. You know, so this adds maybe 7-8 minutes to my workout. This is less than an hour, right? This is less than an hour workout. But what do we get, 18 total sets? I'll take it. Plus we got some heavy benching and some heavy chins in there. But the curls, yeah, I mean, you can tell right there, I'm like, I don't have anything left. I'm trying. I couldn't really get that rep at first. I'm like, let me dig a little deeper to see if I can get it. And then my biceps pretty much failed. And then, of course, here's my last set of the laterals. And I do the same thing here. I just take them to failure, right? When I go to try to do a rep and the weight just doesn't move. And that's what failure means. And that's why I tell people, this controlled movements to failure actually isn't that hard to do. It really isn't. Okay? It's the big movements that's hard. So if people think they're training hard because they can take some isolation movements to failure, you're really not. That's not hard. I just did multiple sets in a row of supersets right here. Yes, you get a burn, but the effort is just simply not there. There's just no way for a bicep or a lateral to require that much. Oh, I guess I did 2 more sets. I thought those were the last sets because I was hitting failure there, struggling on that last rep, but I guess that was my second set. So at least I know I'm working honest on these. And that's what I'm going to need. I need to keep bringing up the arms and the delts. I think that's going to do the most for me as I continue to lose body fat, tighten up the midsection. But I think I'm at a point when I'm seeing the proportions, particularly from the side, I don't think my arms are really lagging that much. I just have a big back and a big rib cage, a big chest. So I do need to make sure those shoulders come up. I'm going to need to get those shoulders thicker and rounder. And that will do a lot for me also as the waistline tightens up. All right, guys, but that's, let's watch the last set of laterals here. All right, guys and gals, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.